Welcome back to another video. Today I would like to share with you how I make my nail decals. I looked on YouTube a ton of videos on how to make your homemade nail decals, and I found lots of different ways, and I tried lots of different ways, and none of them really worked very well for me. And so I went to the craft store and I come up with this. So I'm going to share with you how I do it. I think it's pretty easy. At least it's easier for me than, say, printing it out and then spraying it with like clear spray paint and then soaking it in water and rubbing off all the paper. And I tried that and it just didn't work out for me. So I found this way to be a really wonderful way. So I'm going to share that with you right now. So what I picked up at the craft store was this right here. And I don't know if any of you ever made any little things like this when you were kids. I made picture frames with these little rub-on decals. They come in pictures already, and you just take your little popsicle stick and you like scratch it on there and it transfers it to your picture frame. And that's basically what this is. You're gonna get 4 pages of paper to print on, and then 4 pages of the sticker part to put over it. And I'll show you that real quick. This is the paper you print on, and that little shiny spot is the sticker from where I made one before. And then this is the sticker paper right here. And you get 4 of each of those. And you get an instruction sheet, which when I first started reading it, I thought this was going to be really complicated, and it really wasn't. It was quite easy. So I'll run through it with you. What you want to do is pick the image that you would like to put on your nail. And you get that on your computer and you shrink it down to the right size. And I always like to print it on a regular piece of paper first to test the size and make sure that it printed right before you waste your paper here. And then once you got that, you can print out your design. And here are some little guitars. And these are a bunch of other ones that I've done and used before. These don't have the sticker part on it yet. I did these for a friend. She really wanted Elvis on her nails, and I could not draw that, so I made a decal. And these were in a previous video I did. And here are some cupcakes. And I'll insert some pictures for you of the nails that have these designs on them. That way you can see how they turned out on the nail. Okay, and so what you do after you get your picture printed out, it tells you in the instructions to make sure that you print this on the matte side. There are 2 sides. One is a little bit shinier, the other side is matte. You want to print it on the matte side. And then you get it printed out like so, and then you take the sticky portion. And what you want to do is cut it down to size. And I cut this one off so I can put it back in the printer again and reuse it, so I can keep cutting, you know, strips off the top of it like I did this one. Keep cutting it in strips so you can continue to use the page. Because, you know, I only print out a couple things at a time, not a whole page of stuff, because I don't plan that far ahead of time. So, but you get your paper printed out, you want to cut it down to size, and then you get the sticky paper, you cut it down to size, and then you peel it apart and you lay it over top, and I'll demonstrate that for you here. So you just want to measure out a strip that's about the same size as your printout there. And the smaller pieces you work with, the better, I find, because you won't get as many air bubbles that way, and air bubbles are not your friend in this. And now this is the hardest part of it, is peeling this apart. So to get your sticker piece separated from the white backing, that's the most time consuming part of the whole thing, because you've got to do that twice. I got it. Okay, there we go. Now you pull the white part off, throw that away, that's trash. And then try not to touch the sticky part like I'm doing right here. Try to keep your fingers off of it as much as possible. You don't want fingerprints on your picture you just printed out. Okay, then you want to lay it over your image and carefully rub it down and make sure there's no air bubbles. And then this little stick they provide in the package, you can use that to rub it down. And then once you've got that done, you want to take your one decal that you want to put on your nail and cut it out. So obviously not this one because it doesn't have the sticky part on it. So you want to take this one. And now this is a real important part here. You want to cut around the image and get it as small as possible, because once you place it on your nail, if you were to just take it off right now, you'd see all this right here. All this would hang over the nail, and you don't want that. Once you get this pulled apart and stuck on your nail, the sticky side, you cannot pull it off and reposition it. I guess that's another little downfall to it, because it's super sticky and it will completely ruin it. It's very thin, which makes it work very nice for decals, but you can't pick it up and reposition it. So that is a downfall. So what you want to do is figure out what nail you want to put it on, and you want to cut it down to size and make sure that it's not hanging over the nail. And another little tip, I have tried this with regular polish as a top coat to seal down the decal, and it crinkled up the paper and kind of like melted it and made it cracked looking, and it didn't turn out very nice at all. However, I did use this with a gel top coat and a matte gel top coat, and both of those worked perfect. I don't have a lot of just regular nail polish top coats, so I don't know what one would work over top of it. I'm guessing maybe like a water-based top coat might work, but I just usually use gel, and it keeps it on there really good, and then it's not going anywhere. Okay, so now that you've got it cut down to size, the second peel apart happens. This is the second hard part, trying to get it apart again. And at this point, you want to be even more careful not to touch the sticky part and get your fingerprints all over it. Okay, now the clear part on the front is going to come off, and you throw that part away. Now the sticky from the clear has transferred to this white paper part that has been printed on. And then once you get it pulled apart, you put it where you want it on your nail. And this is just going to be, an example. Push it down pretty hard, and then you can use your finger, you can use an orange wood stick, you can use this little popsicle stick, anything, just rub it down. You want to get the corners rubbed down, and what's going to happen now is this white paper is going to lift off from the sticky part, and the sticky part is going to have your image on it, and that's what's going to be left on your nail. And it's really thin, which is why it makes such a good decal. Another note for you is that if you're going to be doing any images that have words in them, make sure when you print it out that you print it backwards. So, because when you transfer it on, it's going to flip over. So you want to make sure that your words are printed in reverse, or once you get it on your nail, it'll be reversed then, and you won't be able to read it. And this takes a little bit of rubbing. It's a little bit more difficult than if you were to put it on a piece of paper because your nail is curved. So working on a curved surface makes it a little harder for the decal to come apart from its paper. But you'll know once it does. Okay, so you can see it's starting to separate here. And just make sure you get it rubbed down really good on all the corners, and then you can pull that white part off, and it's going to leave your decal on your nail. And this is the part where you want to take like a silicone tool or something, or an orange wood stick, and be very gentle because this is very fragile. It will tear very easily. And this is where you want to smooth down that plastic that's around your image there, and get that as smooth as possible, which is pretty easy to do because of how thin it is. And then once you're happy with that all smoothed down, then you apply your top coat and cure it, your gel top coat, cure it, and it's there. It's not going anywhere until you take that gel off. It's very secure. And you have just about any image you can think of that you want to put on your nail. There you go. Super easy. And it can be a little time consuming, but once you get the hang of it, it's so quick and easy. And I just find this so much easier than messing around with spray paint or painting nail polish on paper and waiting for that to dry and then soaking it in water and taking forever to rub all that paper off the back of it. You're going to get a much thinner decal this way, and I think the image is going to look nicer. So that's how I make my decals for my nails. I think I covered everything that you need to know. These you can pick up in your craft store. I think I got mine from like Craft 2000 or Michael's or something like that. So, and it was pretty inexpensive. And I mean, you can use this for a really long time. Like I said, if you just keep, you know, cutting down the paper, and you can keep putting it in your printer and, you know, make tons and tons and tons of decals. I mean, I made way more than I was ever going to use. But hey, if I ever want to do cupcake nails again, I got my cupcake decals. These were super cute. So they look really nice. You just want to, like I said, if you're going to print any words, make sure you print them in reverse, and then you're good to go. So that's my easy guide to nail decals. I hope you guys like this video and learned something. And if you have any questions, or you think of something that maybe I left out that you want to know, just ask it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.